Okay, now it's time to make the filling for our beef and bacon pie. So I have my cast iron skillet heating up over here. It's heating up over medium heat right now. And I'm going to add some butter. How much butter do we have here?
2 tablespoons.
2 tablespoons, going right in. And as that starts to melt, you gotta watch your sleeves.
Very important.
Very important.
But the best chefs I've heard, like in the movie Ratatouille,
Oh, yes.
which is famous in Game of Thrones culture, that they have the long sleeves, and it's a mark of a very high quality chef to be able to cook without staining them.
Oh, that's right. Staining them, that's right. Well, I'm just hoping that they won't catch on fire.
I'm hoping that as well.
So we are going to brown and saute 1 potato cubed, a russet, and 1 onion and 1 carrot chopped into a rough chop.
So does cutting the potatoes and other vegetables into cubes make a different flavor, or is that just for texture?
Some say that the way you cut a vegetable or an herb does impact the flavor. I think it mostly has to do with cooking time. So I want everything to cook around the same time. So that's why you want to cut them within the same size. But one thing that I have noticed does change flavors when you cut it certain ways are scallions. Sometimes when I cut them in on a bias, they have a sharper flavor. Whereas if I just cut them into small rounds, they're more mild. I don't know why, maybe that's just me. So as the potato, carrot, and onion saute, I'm going to add some salt. You want to season every flavor when you're cooking. Season every layer, not flavor. Is that what I said? I don't know. So season every layer when you're cooking. That way you will have a well-seasoned dish. So this is going to saute and get a little soft. And while that's happening, we are going to toss our beef. This is just stew meat with some flour and salt. So do you want to toss the flour in there, Thomas? Okay, and some salt.
A pinch is different when you have gloves on.
Right, right. So we'll just toss this around. I don't feel like getting my fingers meaty right now, so I'm just going to use a little spoon. Which is not working, so whatever. I'll use my hands. You know what that means? The bacon lattice is ready to come out of the oven. So I'm going to pull that out. Unless you want to grab it.
Would you like my help?
Please.
Do you want to look at it to
Yeah, let's take a look.
verify?
Oh, that is looking crispy and ready to go.
Turn the oven off.
Actually, we're going to keep the oven on for the pie. So our awesome bacon lattice looks like this. Nice and crispy. We're just going to set it over here. And get ready to toss our beef into this vegetable mixture. I'm using a cast iron skillet, as I know only the Game of Thrones cast would only use cast iron, I'm sure of it.
Yes. Also over an open flame, of course.
Right, right. To ensure the sleeve sets on fire. That'd be one way to kill somebody, huh? Okay, Thomas, if you want to just toss the beef in. We have covered it in flour so that it will brown and it will seal in the flavor of each cube. So go ahead. I would like to scrape all the flour off too, because this is going to thicken up the sauce. God. Just dump that in there. All right. Great.
In here?
Yeah. So we'll just let this beef brown for about 2 to 3 minutes. And then we will add some beef stock. And the flour from the beef will allow the beef stock to thicken slightly for the filling of our pie. All right, we are going to get ready to create the gravy, and we're gonna need some fresh rosemary for that. So I have fresh rosemary in my garden. You're just going to hold the top and then just peel it back like this, like you're rubbing your cat the wrong way. That's how I like to describe it.
Rosemary doesn't bite though.
Right. Is that a Game of Thrones reference?
That's a cat reference.
Oh, right. Got it. Okay. So I would like this to have lots of fresh herbs and flavor, so I'm going to use a lot of rosemary. You smell that? Mm-hmm. Smells good. Since this is really the only flavoring, just going to give it a rough chop here.
How do you know when rosemary is ripe?
Oh, as soon as it's growing, it's good to go. You don't want it to get woody, or, it can get unripe is the thing that you want to watch out for. So if you let it grow into a big bush where it's got the very woody stalks, then it doesn't have as much flavor. So you can always just pick off a leaf, rub it between your fingers, and see how it smells. That's how it's going to taste.
Oh, okay.
If you want to do that now, go for it.
Yeah.
All right. This, I can believe, was growing much more in Westeros than saffron, but hey, they like to live a life of luxury. How much beef broth are we going to use, Thomas?
I believe it was 2.5 cups.
2.5 cups. Okay.
I can verify in case you would like the...
No, that sounds good.
I think this is 2.5 cups, and the onion gravy uses half.
Great. I'm actually just going to repurpose the saffron water because I don't want to lose my precious saffron seeds. So I'm just going to pour the beef broth directly into there. That's 2 cups. And we'll do half more. Okay. So we're going to let this simmer, come to a boil, and then it will thicken. And while that's happening, we're gonna cut out our bacon lattice into a circle, but we might not even have to because it might be the perfect size for our pie pan. So I am just scraping up all the bits on the bottom of this pan. That's where all the flavor is living right now. All that crusty, caramelized flavor from the onions and the beef and the carrots. You do not want to waste any of that. So there's a little bit of a splash zone factor in this part, but when you're wearing your Sunday best in Westeros, cooking meat pies.
Normally done by the kitchen servants.
Right. But we're
Daenerys.
Sansa.
Yes, and...
Yeah, Daenerys, who I'll be turning into after this beef pie is made. And I'm the mother of Catkins. Get it? My 3 little kitty cats. Okay, we're also gonna add some salt and pepper. Remember, layer the seasoning every layer of flavor. Season every layer. And we'll use some white pepper.
We need a shot of that.
Oh,
Beautiful,
the drawer?
beautiful
My spice drawer?
organization of your spice drawer.
Yes, you can thank Hangry Boyfriend for that. So, while our beef and gravy mixture is reducing, we are going to roll out our pie crust and put it in the pie pan and crumble up the crispy bacon that we pulled out of the oven. So I floured my surface, and what I'm going to do is just take the pie dough and flip it like this. Keeping the saran wrap over it, it makes it easier to roll out with the rolling pin. I'm just gonna flour this too, just in case. Now, we have a very flaky crust here, so it might crack, but you just have to have patience because it's all gonna be worth it in the end. So you really don't want this to be too super thick. Just keep rolling. Then, take your pastry scraper, kind of roll it up. Roll it up like this. And then we'll drape it into our pie pan, like that. Which you can see I've done. So then I'm just gonna press it into the bottom here. This is kind of the messy part. I'm gonna use these little pieces to just fill in the holes. See that?
Perfect, perfect.
Perfect. And then we'll just sort of trim this with our fingers. And we're gonna fold it over once we put the filling in. And then we'll put the bacon lattice on top and bake it. So we have our pastry lined in our pie pan, and I'm going to spoon the filling in it. One, because this cast iron skillet's really heavy, and we are wearing costumes, and I'm just afraid of the splash zone. So here we go. Lord Thomas will hold the pie pastry for me, and we are gonna fill her up. Closer.
So what are some of the advantages of using a cast iron skillet?
Well, it gets really hot, which is great for searing things, and it's basically like an indoor grill, which is why I like to make burgers on it, which actually you can watch my first Hangry District episode on YouTube. YouTube channel is Hangry District, and that one is called Cheeseburgers. But yeah, it gets really hot. It's really, it's the best for searing meat. You know, it gets a nice crust on whatever you're searing. Oh my God, this looks so good.
You can't smell it, but it also smells very good.
Yes. So the final step is we're gonna top it with our bacon lattice. Like that. And then just fold over the edges as much as we can. This is a rustic pie.
Yeah, you might have to pull it down towards that way a little bit. Since I think you have more dough on the other side. Yeah.
Okay. Now that is a pie fit for a king. We're gonna go ahead and pop this in the oven for about 40 minutes, and then we will indulge. Do you wanna put a little crust on the top here, Thomas? Of some sort?
Yes.
Okay, our Game of Thrones crust on top. We'll see if that works. Okay, the oven, Sir Thomas. So, check back in 40 minutes for the finished product. Lord Thomas, guess what time it is?
Pie time.
It's time to take our bacon and beef pie out of the oven. Let's see what happens.
Oh boy.
Don't want to burn my hand. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Becky.
Look at this beauty. Game of Thrones emblazoned on top. Looks delicious. So make sure you keep watching for the rest of the feast. We'll have onions and gravy, buttered carrots, mulled wine, and iced blueberries with cream. Bye.